get ahead of it, it would spread faster. So it would go. You're probably used to seeing Rev Renee or Brother T. This week you get Jason and my helper down here, Bodie. He's going to be helping deliver the message. Today is a special day for me. I've really wanted to give this talk for years, since 2016, really. What I have to say to you today will change your life. It's going to make you a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to challenge your limiting beliefs, but it's also going to set you free to create, along with spirit, a path of love and unlimited abundance in every area of your life. So it's a big day. Let's go ahead and take just a cleansing breath and allow spirit to be part of us. Thank you. I am not special, but I have had a very special experience. I have been taken to what I call the source, and I have had an experience there that not only changed my life forever, but I hope with me sharing with you, you'll be able to take parts of my message and share it. In 2016, I had 4 surgeries to try and get a hold of stage 4 cancer. Started out medullary thyroid cancer in my neck. It spread throughout my lymph nodes into my spine, my lungs, my brain, and into my liver. Every surgery that I would do to try and get ahead of it, it would spread faster. So I would go back for my recheck, and it had spread to a new part of this body. So December 2016, I was at the oncologist office. He looked at me and he said, even with chemotherapy, you probably have less than a year. And I had already read up about the chemotherapy treatments that were available for this type of cancer at the time, medullary thyroid cancer. And the results were so horrific that the cause of death was literally listed as chemotherapy. Now, if you know about big pharma, they'll do everything in their power to list it as cardiac arrest or anything else. But it's a bad cocktail when the cause of death is chemotherapy. So I was arguing with the doctor about not wanting to do chemotherapy. And every time that I would mention something or disagree with him, he would start typing away. I knew what I was facing, which was death. That's what he told me. I was facing death. But I got a chance to choose how I was going to live. So the next day, I was laying in a cold operating room, hadn't seen the surgeon. The lights are bright. It's very cold in there, and was hooked up to all my IVs. Right before they were about to put me under, the surgeon and his team came in, and he said, "I heard there's something you need to tell me." So I just said it bluntly. I said, "I don't know what's in my file, but this is it. I'm not doing chemotherapy." He laid a reassuring hand on my shoulder and he said, "I'm a surgeon. That's what I do." He spent the better half of the next 5 hours removing 17 cancerous tumors out of my liver. So that surgery was on December 21st. And I traveled home not knowing what my fate was. In the opportunity to face death itself and to have the ego face death itself and to not be afraid of it was the greatest gift I have ever had in this life. This journey is temporary. What you do today is what matters. Don't put life off until tomorrow. Don't put life off for 20 years from now. Today is what matters. Who are you going to smile at? Who are you going to share your love with? And who are you going to forgive? Let's talk about forgiveness. Leading up to several years prior to 2016, was going through a bitter divorce where my wife had left me. And I had an extreme amount of anger. I had anger that would fill my thoughts up every single minute of every single day. I was angry. And as that anger built, I started making poor decisions. I started drinking. I started being reckless. I was really destroying myself. The ego was very proud. The ego had created a life that it was told was right. It had everything that was told was important until it got it all taken away. Divorce, bankruptcy, lost my job, cancer, toxic relationships, drinking. I spent my entire life being able to control and create anything I desired. And now I couldn't even pay rent. Now I didn't have a loving relationship. And I was dying. But I'm going to give you a tool, and it saved my life. I had so much anger in my body that it was killing me. And I would have to trap those negative thoughts, trap those negative emotions. As I would trap them, I would say, I choose love, and I would release it. And I would visualize that. I spent the better part of 2 days just sitting on my sofa because, like I said, every single minute I was angry, it had consumed me and say, this does not serve me, I choose love. And it would go about 30 seconds. This does not serve me, I choose love. I remember I'd probably been sitting there for 5 hours and I went into the kitchen to get a drink of water. And I remember thinking at that moment, I'm like, wow, I haven't been angry for almost 5 minutes. And so I spent the next 3 days basically just doing that. I didn't accomplish anything, but yet I accomplished everything. I was able to release that negative energy and bring in love by the way of forgiveness. You'll be tested, and that is when you'll know if you truly forgave. Because when you get tested and you get that emotion and you capture it and you release it and you choose love, that's when you know you've forgiven. About a month after my surgery, I was laying in bed back home I was off my painkillers, only on Tylenol, uh, still mostly just resting in bed. And it was about 3 in the morning, and I started meditating. And as I was meditating, I started seeing my breath leave my body as a purple cloud. And it would get bigger every time I breathed out. As I inhaled, it'd shrink a little bit. And pretty soon, the cloud was as large as my king size bed. And I heard my own voice started talking with me. And immediately I was looking at my body from above. And I saw this cloud, which I believe to be my spirit. And my voice said, "Look at this. This body is not you. You don't even fit inside your body." And I looked down at my body, and it was sick. And I remember thinking, why would I ever want to be in that body anyway? I have four beautiful daughters that I wanted to reconnect with. I had a lot of love that I wanted to share. And I wanted to share this story of forgiveness. And my voice said, "You can stay, but I want to show you something first." And immediately I was transported to where I call the source. It was this amazing ball of light with particles coming in and out. And what I distinctly remember, and it was so strange for me at the time, there was there was no sound at all. There was no time at all. And it was crazy because it was the first time in my life that I realized that time was a human constraint. I could have been in that moment for 1 second or 1,000 years, and it wouldn't have mattered. And it was this overall feeling of love and no sound and no time. And if you can imagine what no time and 100% love and seeing these energy fields circle above you, I was there long enough until I understood what I was looking at. And then immediately I was back in my body and I started to breathe in and out. And now the cloud was shrinking. And then I felt as if there were two hands underneath me. They didn't physically lift me, but I felt there was like two hands underneath me and it said, "You are healed." Now remember, just a month earlier, I was given less than a year to live. That's even if I did the chemotherapy. But I had so much energy. I literally got out of bed and pulled up my shirt to see if I still had a scar there. I was have more energy than I'd ever had in my life. I was filled with energy. And it was that experience that is why I'm here today. I wasn't the type of person that liked to believe strange encounters. I was a very analytical person that tried to solve everything with science. And what I had just experienced was bigger than me. It was bigger than anything I could know, anything I could figure out. That experience was so moving to me, but I was scared to share it. I was scared that people would think I was weird. I was having breakfast with this Catholic priest that I respected a lot, and I told him about my experience. But what he told me empowered me to share it with you and to share it with everyone I can. He said, "My experience is so common that 100 years ago, the Catholic Church actually commissioned Rudolf Otto, a German, who wrote a book about it called The Idea of the Holy. And he described exactly what I had experienced. A place of love where time ceases to exist and that is bigger than any religion. So I knew I had been given a second chance. And I was empowered to tell my story of forgiveness, my story of healing, my story of love. I donated or sold all of my possessions. And I took my best friend and we got an RV and decided we were going to travel to the US. Remember, I was given a year to live, so we were going to travel until we couldn't travel anymore. But when I was traveling, I would often stay at these spiritual centers. But I would coordinate with the Reverend and I would ask if I could tell a story and we'd talk a little bit. And so I would spend 5-10 minutes telling my story. I did that all around the country. We traveled all through the Northeast, came back down the East Coast, went out through Colorado, all over the West Coast, down the West Coast. I gave probably 50 talks at different spiritual centers around the country. Every single time, there was 1 to 4 people that said, I have had that same experience. This is what I was told. Or there would be someone that would come up to me after the service and they would say, I don't know why I came here today, but now I do. This is my life purpose. I want to share with you love, forgiveness, and the unlimited human spirit. We can create anything in this world. This world is unlimited. We are unlimited spirit, and we have this opportunity to share love in abundance and this spiritual playground with one another. It doesn't have to be about anything other than love. I have nothing to gain from sharing this story with you other than sharing love and promoting Christ consciousness. What you do today matters. Who you love today matters. Who you forgive today matters. When you are Christ consciousness, you are unlimited in this human body. You will have opportunities that you could have never dreamed. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than you could ever be as an ego human. This is about love. If you like this message, I have nothing to sell. I have no gain for you to follow me. If you like this message, I'm asking you to help out this wonderful True Thought community that's being developed. And I'm asking you to follow them. Like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. There's comment sections. I'd love to talk more. I'd love it if Rev Renee and Brother T would invite me back. Maybe I can talk with them beside me. Maybe we can ask questions. Maybe you can put questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for sharing this energy with me today. Why don't we go ahead and we'll have a moment of silence. And we can have that prayer that we want to say. I just want to thank everyone for joining us. Thank you. God bless. And I hope to see you soon.
the love. All that I am today, all that I bring today, I know that it's enough.